And I love the controversy.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Now we're gonna just take the gloves off. We can be honest with you. I think there's a spirit. There's this new hoe on the scene.
Uh-oh.
It's a new hoe.
It's a new hoe on the scene, y'all.
There's a hoe. It is. The lady is gone.
So what do you do to bring that lady back?
And back in years past, we wanted the freaky chick because it was a supply and demand thing. She wasn't prevalent. Well, now the freaky chick is all over the place, and the nice, homey, wholesome chick is in the minority now.
Wow.
She's the minority now.
And they're hard to find.
They're hard to find.
Wow.
So now we're looking for that minority.
God tells you he don't want a relationship right now, but y'all get together and do what grown folks do, you know, if it's good for both of y'all. I said, that's your booty call center. When a guy says that, I want you to hear this in your head. You are my temporary fix until something that I deem better or good for me comes along. But until then, we can do what grown folks do.
You take them out to eat, and you're sitting there and you...
How long is this gonna last?
So I can just take her to this room.
Oh God!
And do what I gotta do and send her on her way.
Yes,
that's when we find that woman that we love, and she is willing to give us that fantasy. You're gonna do it. Well, it depends on how much you love your wife.
I don't think they're willing. I think they do it because they love you.
Oh, exactly. Well, yeah, willing, love.
More like a situation where they're doing it for you.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. Now, when the roles are reversed, and are we going to bring another man in the room?
No. I'm not here to be politically correct. I'm here to tell it like it is. Men are sexual. Men are able to have sex with another woman and still be in love with the woman they're with. Has no bearing on her at all.
You really truly believe that?
Yes.
Jeff, no.
Right, but guys can do it. Guys can have sex with a chick they don't even like. They can do that.
That camera guy is agreeing.
I can see that. You're right. That's absolutely right.
Guys can do that because see, give me some doubt. That's casual contact.
And your clothes.
We don't play basketball. We don't slap each other on the butt.
I don't do that.
I don't do that.
I don't do that. That's what they do. I don't do that. Okay. See, I got all this back. Slap my back. Don't slap, you know, a shoulder or a back. Maybe I'm just a homophobe. But I just can't do it.
Just to get to the downfall of that. Now, we're not going to do that because we just can't. Well, your thing is you can't have somebody touching your leg.
That's just part of it.
That's one of it.
That's just part of it.
Me, I just cannot sit and watch or either get involved. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to play with your tits like he's banging you? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah. You find something else to play with.
No. While I'm watching him bang, especially if he's almost doing it better than me.
Also, it doesn't become a competition.
It comes on.
Are you afraid of being inferior?
No. What if the woman is not somebody you care about? What if it's just a random chick?
Well, that right there I can't do because back in the day they used to call it a train.
Running a train. Yeah.
Me, if I ain't going first, I'm not going at all.
No sloppy seconds.
I can't do it. I've never done it, and I will never.
So now, but why is that? Is that like a competition or inferiority thing? You think the guy in front of you gonna be bigger, or you know?
If it's a random
to me, it's just nasty.
Yeah.
That's
it's not the most healthiest thing.
It ain't like she's getting up and saying, "Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom."
It's just not the most. It's a very nasty, unsanitary.
Exactly. I just can't see myself. I don't care if you got rubbers on.
But to go from inside one woman, because we have juices and stuff too, so to go from inside one woman to inside the next woman, that's sanitary. That's all good.
Well, that's just totally different.
How is that totally? See, y'all just got so quiet. How is that totally different? So you take it out of her, and you glistening from her, and he gonna stick it in the other chick. But that's okay.
All right. Let me say this. I'm gonna be honest. It's still unsanitary and nasty. It still is.
But you still do it.
But here's the thing. Men, with a lot of men, with the second guy, it's a homosexual thing. You know, so they got that thing going. But if it's two women and they're doing it, he's really into his whole lustful, depraved thing, and it's a ego, it's a thing. You know, it's a cool. That's cool.
Yes, that's cool.
Even though it's still nasty and sanitary, Xavier. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not sure I'm being honest with you. It still is. Maybe even more so. But it's a man thing.
You get this answer that comes back to you. Well, I'm going to give you your fantasy. Then my fantasy is to have another man. Then that whole subject is done talking about. We ain't talking about that.
So that's the easy way to end that topic if it ever comes up.
Right.
They're like, yeah, baby, you want a threesome? Me too.
Yeah.
Let's go get this dude.
Ah, don't even say it.
No.
Don't even say it.
No. No.
I already know what mine would be. He'd be like, okay, well, you just got to stay with that dude then.
Once you get rid of him, stay
that's you got to stay there.
That's your new man.
Right, that's your man. You can't come home with me. You can come back and get your stuff in the morning.
And the same goes for you.
No, he's gonna take your stuff right out of the house when y'all go.
Yeah.
He's grabbing stuff as y'all leaving.
He got the key off the keychain. That ain't even right.
And I'm gonna say this. I say this on your page a lot too. Don't try to understand a man with a woman's mind. You'll never do it.
But women are the new men, so they're operating.
They're still not men. Sorry. You don't have a penis.
Yeah.
So you.
And see, I don't classify them as women. I really don't.
What do you classify them as?
Uh oh. Come on, you didn't call
it. It depends on what day you talk to me. But today, I'll just say they're women with issues. Okay? They're women with issues. But
that's real easy. Right?
The hard drive or the hard wire of a man and a woman is still the same. Maybe that chick that you're talking about has daddy issues. Maybe she's been raped. Maybe she's got other issues. But it's something there because in my mindset, a woman is just hardwired a certain way. The majority of them. Okay? And you can't make a true woman approach sex like a man does. It's just something in them I want to believe that. If it's not true, don't ruin don't ruin it, okay? But it's just something in a woman that'll keep her from going off the edge and becoming a man, okay? Because if a woman approaches sex in that way, it's deemed as slutty.
You know my infamous question that nobody has answered yet. What is the difference between a booty call and a hoe?
A hoe gets paid.
No, a prostitute gets paid.
Yeah.
Okay, a prostitute gets paid. Okay.
A hoe and a booty call are the same.
One and the same. I think they're one and the same. Are they making it a difference? Are they trying?
Yeah, people are trying to, because I don't know. Yeah,
why
women are saying there's a difference.
When
they are not claiming that because a woman will proudly talk about being a booty call. Said that she does booty calls, and so. Then I started to say, so a booty call, is it just like one person? She said, no, she had different guys that she did booty calls with. And I said,
see, she got it.
And that's when I said, so what's the difference between a booty call and a hoe? And she said that it's different and that I shouldn't judge her and that,
now you're going to bring this
it's one and the
again.
same. It's one and the same. It's one and the same.
When she watched.
And then she told me that she was a queen. And I'm like, how do you get to be a queen if you're a booty call? And then you turn around, so you're a booty call for this man, and this man. But then you turn around and you're the next man's queen, right? I don't understand how that
She's
works.
a woman with issues, Xavier. She's got issues. I bet you if you go down her life, somewhere when she was a little girl or something didn't quite go right. Maybe she was raped, maybe she was having sex with grown men or daddy issues or whatever. I just would like to believe that the average woman is not hardwired to be a booty call and a hoe. I just don't want to believe it. And when I see these women that are saying that and holding this whole booty call thing up and all of that. I'm saying she's a chick with issues.
Well, that they say that they are liberated, that they have the right to do what they want to do, and if they want to just go get some, and
my wife has said that. I've said, come here, look at this, and then they'll say, and she says, baby, they hoes, honey. They hoes, honey. I said, but she said, I'm a woman. They hoes, honey. They got some issues. Somewhere they slept with their uncle or their brother or something, and they never got that quite right. But they hoes, honey.
And they don't know it.
And they don't know it. They're in denial, So, yeah. And I've had some women, and and I don't want to, because I know it works both ways.
Oh, you got daughters too.
I can't understand a woman with a man's mind. So I'm quick to go to other women and say, hey, explain this to me. And then they'll tell me the truth. Now, I'm going to tell you something about women. Xavia is one of the only ones that'll call women out. She'll jerk the covers off women and show them what they are.
I get in so much trouble.
Other women do it, they say, they whisper. They don't want to, but Xavia just said, honey, you acting hoish. You know what I mean? She just does it. But women don't want to call women out. You know what I mean? They don't want to just do it. They got that little thing going where they don't want to just do it. Yeah. So when you in the car driving home, they'll say, yeah, she a hoe. That's what it is. They'll tell you undercover. And so I asked them, and I show them things that these women are saying, and they say, yeah, well, these women have probably been sleeping with men since they were like preteens and different things, and so that's why they have this whole sexual thing going. But that's not a real, normal, healthy woman. That's not. That's a woman that's got some issues somewhere. And you should do a series, Xavia, on true womanhood.
Well, I have the workshops that I'm doing.
True womanhood, because that's gone. That grown and sexy woman that's confident, sure of herself, not intimidated. That chick is gone, man.
I have a workshop that's called "Are You More Man Than He Is?"
Yeah,
that's exactly what we talk about. And then I also have one that talks about sisterhood. Yeah. So that also addresses some of the issues that we have as women.
But these women have issues, Keith. They really do.
Well, I'm going to tell you, even though the fact that, some women have issues, what do we do? What do we do to fix it? Besides your workshops,
that's where it starts.
Actually it starts at home.
Well, if I'm a 35-year-old chick and I'm damaged, what do? I go to workshops. I go to counseling. I go get these things done. But there's a lot of women who've been damaged and are trying to have relationships, or damaged and trying to be that booty call chick. They're damaged and don't know they need help.
That's why he said with the baseline chick, she's influenced by what society says she should be. This strong, independent woman, liberated, make her own decision, because they say that it's a plan to break up the black family. And so if that is true, it is definitely happening. Because what they do is they're dividing us, and a house divided will fall. So now the women are acting like men, as we've been talking about, and the men are just like, okay, some of them are good with it. They're like, okay, yeah, well, you work and stuff, well, take care of me and do what you go do, whatever. But then the good men, women are always saying, I can't find a good man, I can't find a man that's going to commit, but you're not giving them feminine energy. You're coming up like a man. And a man don't want another man. If I'm sitting here and I'm aggressive and I'm like, yeah, you blah, 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 you need to step up your game, and you weak and you this and that and the other, blah, blah, blah.
Emasculating. Why
are you going to turn around and be like, oh, baby, I'm going to do better? Because I just want to be with you, so I'm going to do better.
No.
You're going to look at her just like that.
Yeah, and walk away.
But then they don't know why they single.
Got up and walked away before she finished doing it.
It's them.
Then they don't know why they single. But they don't want to say that it's them. I talk to them all the time. They're like, why you always blaming women? I'm like, because you know what? There are some women that you interact with as a woman, and their attitude is so stank, you don't even want to deal with them. So you can't even imagine a man wanting to deal with them 24/7, 365.
It is.
It's crazy. But,
And then, why wouldn't you as a woman, obviously what you've been doing isn't working. So here's a woman that's in a relationship that's successful, relatively as successful as relationships can be nowadays, or in a marriage that's successful. why wouldn't you want to take her? Because obviously she's, whatever it is, she's done it right.
Right.
She's found the matrix to do it right. So why wouldn't you want to take her advice and say, hey, well, even if it's inbox, girl, I mean, I'm doing
Now, I do get some inboxes and from ones that do want to hear what I have to say. But the funny thing about it is, and this is what I've found, the single women, they have all the know-how about relationships and men. They are single and don't have a man, but they will run it down as to what a man's supposed to be, how he's supposed to act, how you're supposed to treat him.
That's because
but they don't have a man. Yeah, how the relationship's supposed to work, and what different tests you got to put him through, and how he should respond and what he should say. But when you tell them about stick-to-itiveness and compromise and working through stuff, like, oh no, if he don't come like this, that, and the other, then it's
nothing succeeds like success. And when you find somebody that's done it right, you don't go and get business advice with somebody that's went belly up 4 times.
Yeah.
You go to...
Well, you can talk to them because they can tell you what they did so you can avoid it.
You can avoid it.
Exactly.
But,
the 4 times.
Yeah. But you've got to be open-minded and be willing to listen to someone that's got it right.
That's the hard part.
Well, if you're humble,
that's only if you humble and you don't mind sitting there listening.
You check that ego.
But if there it is, the ego. And women have egos just like we have.
I found that out.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to sit down and listen to what you got to say, whatever.
And that's why they single.
I've been, just getting in this baseline woman thing because I felt that the common thread between the two of you guys, a woman that to me would cheat or, depending on your age group. Now, see, I think for your topic, the younger woman in her 20s would probably go for that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because you experiment, you trying to figure out what your flow is, and you're trying to perfect your little tricks and all that stuff, so you do all that kind of stuff. But when your late 30s, early 40s, and certainly in your 50s and stuff, it's a certain mindset that if you still doing that, would you still doing that?
You're an immature dude. You haven't grown up.
And I was talking to the women on the radio show because, whenever I start talking, it just set people off, women especially, because like you said, I kind of
jerk the
continue to be that way.
And so
I
told them, I said, a lot of people try and put me into this thing. They want to say, okay, well, she's holier than thou. But I never come from, everybody knows that I do have a biblical foundation. I do believe in God. But I don't ever preach at them like that. Yeah. I don't ever come from that. I come from what men are saying. I'm trying to get you to understand what men are thinking. And it's not because I think like a man, but I talk to them all the time. And I listen because I'm not listening to try and get with either one of y'all. I'm listening for understanding and learning. I already have a man, who tells me a lot of stuff too. But was my friend first. Yeah. So I'm learning what you guys are thinking as you tell me. And so I try and feed it back. Right. And I told him, I said, I'm not holier than thou. I never come from, God said you need to do this. I could, because I do know the Bible, and I'm not Miss Goody Two Shoes. I was in my 20s once. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I talk about because it wasn't that long ago. But it's because, and you're supposed to learn from your experiences. Right. The best teacher is experience. You should. And so what I'm doing is, and I won't go into all the stuff that I have done because a lot of stuff I don't want nobody to know. But
we're gonna have that topic.
No, we never got that
off camera. Off camera.
We don't even have to talk about camera. But I am speaking from my experience, having done certain things, have been privy to certain things, or talked to people who have done certain things, and taking that experience. Because see, you don't have to necessarily always learn from your experience. You can learn from somebody else's experience.
Exactly.
And so this is what I keep trying to share with women as they feel like, this booty call and sexing whoever and everybody is liberated. I make a decision to have sex with who I want to have sex with. Okay, you do, but then don't turn around and expect that people are just going to say, oh, yay. There's some stuff that comes behind it when you can't find, one of the things that the baseline woman, okay, let me just read the last 2 points of the baseline woman. The baseline woman finds herself in a never-ending pursuit of dead-end, meaningless relationships to satisfy her need to feel loved never knowing or understanding that what she is in need of is to be loved.
Right.
She's satisfying that need to fit, because you know, if you hugged up on me and you know you telling me, you done told me how beautiful I am,
yeah.
you know, because otherwise I'm not with you. Because if you're not feeding my head full of the stuff that I need to hear, you know, so you making me feel loved. But like y'all said, after we do the do, you ready for me to go, and you ready to go.
True.
You don't love me, but you making me feel like it at the time. So she's in search of that feeling of being loved, but not actually being loved.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final point is what she needs is seeking her, but cannot find her because she's never where she should be. You know, while
she's supposed to know where she should be.
While she's doing the booty call, that's not where she should be. You know, while she with somebody else's husband, that's not where she should be.
See, some women find love because they have issues, whatever they may be. Some women find love or get love or find that illusion of love from sex.
It's the illusion.
It's the illusion of
it's
love.
It's feeling love,
sex.
but not being loved.
And then I also wanted to point out too, and this is for all the women that are booty calling and renting other women's men. If you want your own man and your own relationship, you're never going to get it stealing from another woman. Never. God will never bless you while you're taking. He never blesses you by taking from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way God operates. And if you want good karma, if you want to use God karma or whatever, you got to do right, and then right will come back to you. But stop thinking that something good or a good man is going to come to you while you're robbing another woman's household.
Because if he's cheating with you, he'll cheat on you.
He'll cheat on you. But some women, Xavia, are very cool being that second chick.
Oh yeah.
They're comfortable, or they feel like,
to be.
well, I'm just with this married guy until something better comes along.
Yep.
Something better is not going to come along.
Right.
Because you're robbing from another woman.
You can never get what you need as long as you are not where you need to be. And if
Well,
you're not where you are, and who wants to be number two? I mean,
a lot of women.
So those are the women that, you know, they say they have self-esteem and everything, but those are the women who would really rather have a piece of man than no man.
Yeah.
Well, but there was a woman on your page, and I'm glad I forgot her name.
Yeah.
But
like
she said, I'm not a coupling kind of person.
Mm.
You remember that conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a coupling kind of woman. You know, in other words, her being with one guy and being a couple, that ain't her. A lot of women don't want to deal with other men and the issues that they have, because we all have them. Mm-hmm. They don't want to deal with everything that comes into having a relationship, so they'll just get a dude every now and then and just kind of scratch that itch. Mm-hmm. And I don't just mean sexually. That itch might be going out on a date. It might be a movie or whatever.
Or some money.
Yeah. Or so whatever her need might be,
mm-hmm.
she wants to get that need and then send him on his way.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard a lot of these women say the great thing about a dude that's got a wife or a woman is he can't never stay. He's never going to stay. He's just there for a while. So these women have become an island, so to speak. So they just rent a man or get a man just for that particular need, and then he can be gone. Mm-hmm. Again, that's a woman with issues. Okay? These are women that will tell you, I don't want a man. Xavier, I know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't want a man. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be married. It's not for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not a coupling kind of person. I'm cool just with this leased guy that I have. He mm-hmm. comes over every night, and he got a wife and some kids, but who cares? He just coming over, and they're happy mm-hmm. in that place. What do you say to those women?
I still say the exact same thing, you know, being number two. You know, I talk about self-esteem and why would you want that role, but you know, they are convinced. You know, at some point, as my mom used to say, you gotta leave well enough alone. Mm-hmm. Some folks not gonna learn. They're not. Mm-hmm. We can't reach everybody, but there is that woman that's listening or that guy that's listening that's open to learn. There's some people that think they got it right. Just because it's what you do doesn't mean it's right. It's just what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, but they think they got it right, and you may not be able to reach them. They may feel that, you know, you can hear certain women and know that they got self-esteem issues. Mm-hmm. But if you tell them that, they gonna fight you tooth and nail.
Yes, they will.
You know, and like
Yes,
you said, when we don't tell each other different stuff. You see a woman that's got a bad attitude, another woman ain't gonna tell her she got a bad attitude. She just gonna, you know.
She's gonna talk about it behind her back.
That's mostly what she's gonna do.
You know what's gonna happen. You go up to a woman, especially a supposedly strong black woman. You know what I'm saying?
And tell her she got attitude.
Tell her that she got attitude.
And you gonna feel the wrath of it.
It's gonna be some fighting.
You gonna feel the wrath of the
exactly
attitude.
what's gonna happen. So how do you go about it?
Depending on how you approach them, you know, and you're right, Xavia. Some people just have to buy lessons. That's just the way it goes. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but some people just gonna have to buy some lessons.